Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. We only have special guests, and today we talk to Peggy. She ran the New York City Marathon in 2023. Actually, this week is the perfect week to talk to a first-time marathoner. What did you do? How did you enjoy it? First, introduce yourself, Peggy, and then we go into the marathon running and marathon mindset. I think that's important.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Peggy. I've been here in New York for 8 years now. I work in construction, project manager, basically. That's my background. Fitness is my passion. Anything running, workout, movement is basically, that's what I love to do foremost. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Me.
Tell us a little bit about your marathon journey. Our mutual friend, George, says, talk to her, give her some tips.
Yeah.
What were you most kind of unknown about that? What was the process about? What were the questions you had? It seems like you are into fitness. What was the unknown that there was for the marathon?
So basically, the real questions and concerns were, I was never a long distance runner. I would run on the treadmill before, after workouts, do workouts that involved treadmills. And I was almost always in my workout, like the running was like interval kind of training, not just running steady pace. That was never my thing. And even living a couple of blocks away from Central Park, I never really ran in Central Park until COVID. And then that's when it's like you had nothing else to do, so you run outside. My concern was, how do I keep that endurance? How do I keep pushing? How can I make it through the marathon? Am I really going to be able to run all that mileage, the 26.2 miles in New York City kind of thing? What are the preps? I had read about it before, after I signed up for it. I signed up just thinking it was just a challenge. I was like, okay, I'm going to run the marathon. And when I signed up, the longest distance that I had ran was 10K. That was the longest thing I ever ran. But then I was like, okay, I can do this. I want to do this. Then I signed up. My questions were basically my concern was building up that mileage to be able to run that steady pace, or that pace for all that miles and for all that time, and what nutrition is and how your nutrition would be during the race and before the race and after the race. When I work out in the morning or I go for a run in the morning, I know it's not ideal, but I usually just have a coffee and then run out and then come back and then I have my breakfast. But when you're running for 2-3 hours, 4 hours, you can't sustain.
You need a little more.
You need a little more, exactly. So those were basically my little concerns. The tips you won't get from the books, but you'd only get from someone that actually ran the race.
So it seems like it's the determination, and also how can you scale from 10 kilometers to 26 or 42 kilometers? Because you can't go from 0 or 10K to 42. Some people do it. It's not advisable. Yeah. But it's also, I think it's a longer process. And I think that's the hardest. And that's when they say life is a marathon. So it's not like a sprint. So you have to pace yourself. How did that then work out for you once you heard all about it?
The pacing part?
Yeah, in a way, the pacing part with the planning. When did you start your training?
I started my training around April, because that was when I had signed up. So the only way that I could run the marathon on 2023 was with the charity. So that I had to raise money for the charity too. Through them, you signed up for Run Coach, which is like an app, but you have a coach, which is in person. You send him messages and they reply. So you put in your history and they kind of pace you and give you a kind of a plan for every week, how your runs should be, when your tempo runs should be, when your hit runs should be, when your long runs should be, and what your long runs should be. Like every week it would go up. And actually going back, I know the first couple of months, they weren't going up that much, my mileage that they recommended. It wasn't until closer towards the end. I kind of followed that religiously, especially when it came to the long runs and the mileage for that. I went off of that, what they recommended, and it was a few, because I speak in kilometers. So, so it was like a couple of kilometers every week. And sometimes it was 2-3 weeks where you're just running the same kilometers. The app really helped me to kind of keep control of it.
Yeah, it's about the planning. They say proper planning prevents poor performance. The 5 Ps. The more you follow a plan, the easier it is. In a way, it's almost counterproductive. You follow a plan. Meanwhile, the running, you can decide whenever you want to do it. I've done 15 New York City marathons. It's the planning is the key.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah. My whole schedule, my whole life that summer, like April until the day of the marathon, it was all around my training kind of things. Because typically it was Saturdays were my long runs. Friday was I finish work, I go home. I knew that I was going to sleep early because especially when it got hot. So you know that you can't run like at 9 or 10 a.m. You need to be out and start running much earlier before it gets too hot. That was all kind of also integrated in that year.
You mentioned it nicely, integrated. More or less running is taking over your life. So Friday night, no more party. Saturday, you finished the long run. And what did you do after the long run?
In the beginning, after the long run, I'll come home, refuel, have my food, eat something, shower, and then sit for a couple of hours. It was also a ritual. It's like after I shower, I would actually go and towards the end, I would get the compression boots for my legs. Just to keep them healthy, kind of, or help them massage them, kind of thing. So that was like in my programming, in my Saturdays. And then usually Saturdays, sometimes I would go back out and walk, and like just depends on your regular plans with friends and family, dinners, lunches, whatnot. But yeah, typically it was once I finished my run, I come home, eat, shower, and then head out to get my leg compression. Then I'm off.
Sounds like luxury.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I made use of it. I kind of took advantage to kind of like pamper myself. I had an excuse.
That's also a very valid point. Pamper yourself.
Yeah.
You're out there running for 4 hours, 3-4 hours. Why not pamper yourself? And then the nutrition part. Tell us more about that, because it's an important factor in the running.
It was very important. That's one of the things that I guess that I didn't do right, is that it's true what they say that you need to, especially as your mileage goes up, you need to be eating more, which is one thing that I didn't do. After a run, we all know that it's very important to get in your carbs mainly, and then some protein kind of thing. That's your main thing that you need to get in. And even before the run, not the same morning, it depends on when and how you run, but like at least the night before, I would think have more of the carbs so that you have your fuel for during the run. And then even during the run, I really used a lot of the gels, just to kind of keep me going. And I kind of had a timer on my watch. Every like 30 minutes it would go off, just kind of to remind me, so that I wouldn't just fall apart, or so that I can kind of keep going at the pace that I'm going.
Did you eat enough or not enough? And some people in the running, they think, oh, I'll start to run so I can lose weight. Well, in the marathon training, actually it's the opposite. You need to eat enough, or even more than what you do, and you might even gain some pounds while you train for the marathon, which is not what we want, I guess.
Yeah, so exactly. But so yeah, with me, I was always scared of that. So I didn't eat enough for the longest time. My meals were like what I used to eat pre-marathon training, not realizing that how important it is to actually increase my food intake, and because I'm marathon training. So that's like one of the things that I would do different once for the next marathon, is up my food intake, especially carbs. I've been always someone that shies away and scared. As much as I love carbs, I shy away. So that's a good reason to eat carbs. I should have taken advantage of that.
Either you run more or you have to eat less carbs.
Yeah.
This is the key. If I run another marathon, it's always funny that your first marathon, oh, this is the first and the last. And now I hear you say already, my next marathon. So what would you do differently? What have you learned from last time to the next one, whenever the next one will be?
Of course, the nutrition that I said. And then another was overtraining. I do rumble training where you do, other than the boxing, there's another class form that they have where it's like half is on the treadmill where you're doing interval training more or less. And then half is on the bench where you're doing weights. So towards the end, I would actually stay on the treadmill and not really take advantage of the weights and do more of the weights. I didn't realize that, okay, you need to get your mileage in, but you need to get your easy runs in too. So I didn't have enough. All my runs were, other than the long run, which was at a steady pace, most of my runs were like high intensity runs. You're running fat, like it's like go, 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 which is one thing I knew I did wrong. So that's why towards the end, when it came to the marathon, the week before the marathon, I was just exhausted. I actually got sick. I was sick the day of the marathon. That's when my body gave up. So that's like what the two main things that I would change is my nutrition and incorporate more easy runs and incorporate more rest. If I need the rest, just take the rest.
I learned from an Olympian. He says rest is part of the training. And everybody always tells to me, no, I need to go. And I'm like, no, rest is more important than training. We will be hearing this episode the week of the marathon and everybody is like nervous. What tips do you have for them? And also, we need to rest the week before the marathon. Maybe I say it again. We need to rest rather than running around, and also running around in other shoes than running shoes, trip or do anything stupid. What are the recommendations you have for first timers or also the people? The marathon is coming up on Sunday.
First thing I would say, rest. Don't try to make up for miles that you think you didn't run. It's fine. Eat your carbs. Start building it up during that week. And then I wouldn't say the day before, maybe earlier in the week, maybe it's not a bad thing to get a massage, maybe. Just relax. Now, don't sit completely. Just easy walks, if anything, not even easy runs. You don't really need to get those easy runs because it's known that you did all the work. That last week is not going to make the difference kind of thing. If anything, if you push it for it during that week, it's just going to hurt you. So just enjoy the rest. And make sure that you have everything ready for the day of the marathon. What you're going to wear, the shoes you're going to wear, the socks you're going to wear, everything, whether you're going to wear a hat or not. Make sure you have all your, whatever you're going to be using on the course for fueling kind of thing. Just everything in order. And get your at least 8 hours of sleep every night.
Now tell us a little bit about the day of itself, the highlights. What were the highlights for you?
First, getting on the ferry and getting there and getting to the start line, that was starting from the night before. It was like something I couldn't believe that I was going to do it. I live on First Avenue. So every year I would see the marathoners running kind of thing. And that's kind of maybe one of the things I would see them running and think, I wish I could do this one day. I'm not sure I can, but I can. But there I am. A couple of years later, just walking in, and then the start line, and then you start, the gun goes off, and then you start running. You're running with like thousands of people. It's really amazing. One thing which I laugh to this day, because one tip is have your name on your t-shirt. Because I remember running over the Verrazano Bridge, and then getting off that bridge, I hear people yelling my name, and I was like, wait, I didn't think anyone I know is gonna be here, and then I realized my name is on my t-shirt. Wow. Okay. It's all high positive energies. I mean, from when you get to the start line to when you take off kind of thing. It was amazing. Running the streets of New York and Queens and the Bronx and Brooklyn and whatnot. The truth is I did start the race with a mission to finish it under the 4 hours, but I was sick. And then starting in the beginning, the first couple of miles, I realized that I'm probably not going to. I was like, you know what? I listened to your advice that you gave me and many other people's advices. It's your first marathon. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the people on the streets. Just enjoy the music, the high fives that you get right, left and center kind of thing. People cheering your name. So yeah, it was an exciting day, all in all.
You said you were also raising funds. What organization were you supporting and how much did you raise?
It was Children's Aid, and I raised I raised just over 3,000, which was nice, which made it that much special running the marathon. I was looking for a charity to go in. My focus was on something that helps children kind of thing, something that's got to do with children, because that's like my weakness. Anything that helps children, poverty. Yes, glad that I managed to raise the 3,000 that they needed.
Are you going to watch this year, or what is your plan, and how will that manifest?
No, of course I'm going to watch, actually. And I do have a couple of like 1 or 2 friends that are running it that I know. I'm the experienced one now. It's their first runs and I'm giving them kind of the advice and just saying, just enjoy it. Just enjoy every second of it. I mean, it's your first marathon. So you're going to, as they say, you're going to PR anyway. Just take it in all in, because the city does give you a lot of energy. Now, when I go back to the day of it and I remember like the little bits and pieces of the little different areas that I was running where I felt like I was, okay, I can't do this anymore. And then suddenly it's like you hear the cheers and then you're running. Or I remember a part where I got to Central Park towards the end and someone I know was there and they saw me, and actually it was one of my Rumble trainers. She saw me there and then she's like, go girl, go, you can do this. And I was like, I was about to start walking. And when I heard her, I'm not walking now, I have to run, you know. It's a great day. All in all. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So congratulations, first of all. And also thank you so much for giving so many good tips now that you're an experienced person. So enjoy the day. We wish all the runners good luck and see you at the finish line. So thank you so much. Good luck to all the runners. What are you taking away from this? Rest up. Nutrition is important and don't overtrain. Enjoy the moment. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday. Come and join and listen and ask those questions, and maybe one day you become a marathoner or even an Ironman. And Take It from the Ironwoman is also the book Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Download it or get it in your local bookstore. Thank you so much for your support. Write a review, like us, and see you next time. Bye-bye.